ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another edition of Between the Headlines. My name is Dennis Jar, and we are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. In tonight's edition of this special broadcast, we're going to be speaking with members of the Victory Committee of the passage of the Dual Citizenship Law. They will be discussing the celebration that they've organized in Philadelphia and other things about dual citizenship. We also have the doyen of dual citizenship, some call him the czar of dual citizenship. We're going to be talking about that. Since the passage of the dual citizenship law, things are no longer the same. And so the group thought it wise to organize a celebration program to commemorate this important milestone. With me to discuss this, I have the chairman of the All-Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship, is eminent Emmanuel Sonnybo Wetty. Mr. Wetty, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate everything. It's always good to be on your show. This is home to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, I also want to welcome the chair lady of the committee celebrating the passage of the Dual Citizenship Bill, Dr. Vera Tuber. Doc, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dennis. It's good to be on. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Also, the Secretary General of the Celebration Committee, that's the Dual Citizenship Victory Celebration Committee, Ato Nawia Do. Mr. Do, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Brother Ja. I'm so thrilled. I'm happy to be here.
I also want to welcome a member of the committee, Mrs. Comfort Kiet Atoka, who is joining us from the Big Apple. Mrs. Atoka, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Ja. Thank you for having me, and thank you for having us all, and I'm glad to be here.
Last and definitely not the least is Mr. Willie Kamara. He's also a member of the committee. Mr. Kamara, welcome.
Mr. Dennis, Ja, it's a pleasure to join you and my colleagues.
Thank you.
Looking forward to exciting conversation as we prepare to be in Philly. Thank you.
Philadelphia, here we come. We want to welcome all our viewers from across the globe. This is focused on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We also find it very important that anytime there is important event in our community, we take the time up to discuss it and share it with our listeners. I want to say welcome, especially for those of you here for the first time, Dr. Turrott, Mr. Kamara, and also Mrs. Atoka. In a special way, I say here's the bottle of water to say thank you for coming and feel at home.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. We ask our viewers to, if you are watching on YouTube, either Facebook or Twitter, please share the show, invite a friend. This is one of the programs that gives me great joy that we are looking in our community. People are working very hard, and whenever there is a milestone, we all take the time to celebrate. So let me start by giving the chance to eminent Emmanuel Wetty, because we are talking about the passage of the Dual Citizenship Bill, and we are a celebration party has been planned. But even before we go to that, let's just go around the room and just say something small about yourself and speak to my audience. Just something, greet them, and what role you playing in this very important program. Let me start with Mr. Doe.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ja. Again, I'm so happy to be on the show tonight, and sitting with very, very committed colleagues of this particular committee. And also, I'm happy to be with the doyen and the more progressive eminent Emmanuel Wetty. My name is Ato Wiado, and I am a former secretary, two-term secretary general of the Union of Liberian Associations in the Americas, ULA. I form part of this particular committee for the fact that we have been in the advocacy and we represented EULA at the highest level in Liberia in 2016. And since then, we have been pushing for this advocacy, and this victory celebration cannot be overemphasized. Hence, we are here to talk more on it, and we pray that at the end of our conversation, Liberians in the diaspora will see reason, move to Philadelphia, travel to Philadelphia to join others so that we can have a very, very, very unique and successful celebration. And thank you again for having me.
Thank you, Mrs. Atoga.
Good evening. My name is Comfort Kia Aitoka. I live in New York City, and dual citizenship. I started this joining a few years ago. I actually formed an organization called Liberian Advocacy for Change. And Liberian Advocacy for Change is advocated dual citizenship. And we are a partner to the All-Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. We work together on this journey. And there were so many reasons. My commitment was unwavering for this movement because I know how important dual citizenship is to both Liberian in the diaspora and at home. And the support from Liberians from all walks of life have me going in this advocacy. I met so many people who today I continue to work with and will continue to work with moving forward. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Kamara.
Well, thank you very much, Saja. So introduce myself. I'm Welekim Kamara, president of the Conference of Liberian Associations in the Southwest, Colossus. In 2012, my brothers and sisters, we started this journey at a conference called in Washington, D.C., some 10 years ago, talking about two great things, such as dual citizenship for Liberians across the diaspora. Number two, voting outside Liberia. Those were our two big agendas. When we met at a conference held by EULA in Atlanta, Georgia, during the 35th National General Assembly that was held in that September month of 2009, we started the conversation under the leadership of His Excellency Anthony Kesseley. And I was heading the conversation on that weekend with regards to dual citizenship. And I was supervised by Brunel from IFLA, Europe. So this convention became so interesting. After that conference, we decided to have a meeting in Washington where we started all this conversation. After that conversation, the rest is history. And for the last 10 years, as you mentioned, the committed ones, we committed to this process, and now we are seeing the success of our labor. So I'm very happy as we plan to assemble in Philly to meet my colleagues and others to celebrate and talk more about what is next. So thank you for the opportunity for me to share all of this to the rest of the world beyond this station.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's go to Dr. Tolbert.
Good evening, everyone. And again, Mr. Jha, thank you for having us on. My name is Vera Tolbert. I am a member of the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania here, one of the local chapters of EULA, the Union of Liberian Association in the Americas, and ULA being one of the partners of ALCOD, the All-Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. And this has been a long journey, and I think it needs to be celebrated. So we're hoping that you guys will all come and join us here in Philadelphia. Of course, the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, where we will gather and be very proud of a struggle for the past, over 12 years, where we had Liberians very committed, and you can see members of those partners here, very committed to seeing us be Liberians like we've always been. Once a Liberian, always a Liberian. So we're happy what has happened in Liberia, that the law has been passed, and we hope that the rest of the Liberians in the diaspora, will be happy and celebrate with us. We realize that some people are concerned about some of the restrictions, but I think we should be very, very proud to say our country has come to that point where they realize that all of our Liberians in the diaspora are still Liberians, and we should be very proud of that and celebrate that. So it's good to be on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I just want to mention that as far back as early 2000, when I was in Philadelphia, Dr. Turbo has always been part of these community organizations and working very hard. So even before the show, I said, well, it's time now that you guys in Philadelphia honor this lady and let her be in the background to give you the support so that the young people will step up. I mean, publicly, Dr. Turbo, I want to say thank you so much for your service. I really, really admire what you do.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But we're getting there. We're getting the younger people on now. We're getting there.
Thank you. Let's bring on Dr. It's eminent. Emmanuel Wetty.
Yes.
Mr. Wetty, just quickly, I know you've been here several times, but I just want you to get situated so you can just give us the background of what we are celebrating today. Dual citizenship. I know you started with other Liberians, started this a long time. And just to give an overview of, what the journey has been like and what has been accomplished. What does this law mean, what it is, and what really it means before we even get to the celebration part?
Thank you very much, Dennis. Like I'll say that this place is home to me, and I do appreciate your platform. I just want to add to what you said about Dr. Turbo. Dr. Turbo is the only active female in our leadership since 2012. She has not missed one meeting. If she did, it got to be very extreme. So, she has a very good record. But like Anna mentioned, I want to say thanks to everybody that's on this thing. The issue of dual citizenship started in 2005 with Arthur Watson. He wrote the first article, followed by Manston, the group, Benedict Warner, and other people started advocating for dual citizenship. The guys in Europe and concerned Liberian under John Law, they all started. Everybody was doing a separate thing going around. In 2005, when Arthur Watson wrote an article supporting dual citizenship, it was not the position of ULA. So the way they mentioned, in 2009, under the leadership of Anthony Cassidy, ULA actually adopted the policy to support dual citizenship. So between 2009 and 2012, everybody was doing their own thing until in 2012, President Gensler and the Ambassador Solente, who was the ambassador at the time, we all decided that, look, if we have to win this war on dual citizenship, we all need to come together. So we had a meeting in December in DC where people from Europe, from Australia, from Ghana, from Canada came, and we met in DC, and our agreement was to only focus on dual citizenship. We didn't care what was going to happen. I mean, I'm not saying other things are not important, but we made it a decision that, look, our focus is dual citizenship. So since 2012, we've been going on. You know the story. We went for the referendum. We didn't get the two-tier and everything. But not to waste everybody's time, we are very happy that President we are and the House and the Senate were able to come together through other partners that year, and the law became the law July the 22nd, 2022. So right now in Liberia, if you have your American or Australian passport, you can use your Liberian passport to go to Liberia. You don't need visa to go. Once a Liberian, always a Liberian. So the law is the law. It's a benefit for us. We can get our land. You don't have to go through another person to get your land, and all those things. So let me now, so that's the celebration that we're doing. And like Dr. Toba mentioned, others may not be certified. We do agree and we respect that. But this is a beginning in the right direction. When we leave, others can come and correct the mistakes that we made. Advocacy is not an event, it's a process. And we don't claim to have the patent or the authority on this thing. We just play our part. Others will come after us to correct the mistakes that we made. But for now, we want to celebrate this milestone and let's thank everybody. People use their personal time, their personal money, their personal resources, and everything. Even you yourself, Dennis, you are put up on this show. We didn't pay you. We had to make an arrangement to pay you and all those things, So we want to say thank you for the opportunity that you gave us, and thank the whole team for all their support.
Thank you. Comfort, what does dual citizenship mean to you, or Liberians now having dual citizenship law passed? What does that mean to you as a person?
Thank you. Dennis, dual citizenship means a lot to me as an individual. When I left Liberia, I'm just going to make it brief. I left Liberia during the Civil War, losing everything, including my family. My mother, my brother, I lost them in the Civil War, and relocated to the U.S. as a refugee. And later on, my status got regularized. But Liberia, as a Liberian who was born in Liberia, losing everything to the Civil War, and my citizenship was the only thing that I had. And now to hear that because of a particular law, that citizenship was revoked, I became active in this advocacy through the encouragement of a friend, a Nigerian. And this Nigerian, he was one of the advocates for dual citizenship in Nigeria. He's a friend of mine. He, myself, my husband, and his wife, we were having lunch. And he said, my sister, so how are you? How are things in Liberia? And he looked at my expression. He saw my eyes teary. He asked my sister, what happened? And when I explained to him my situation, that I lost everything in the Civil War, and the only thing I had was my citizenship, and I was told that I was not a Liberian anymore. So I was a victim twice.
Wow.
And every time, this had me going. He said, don't give up. And because of this situation, and all other Liberians, this is not I alone. So many Liberians have this story. And I also feel that it's a win-win for my country, being a dual citizen or having dual citizenship for my beloved country. So This is what had me going.
Thank you. I mean, that's a profound answer. I never heard this, and it resonated with me. So that made me to ask other people now. Arthur, what does dual citizenship mean to you?
Dual citizenship means a lot to me, but I will just name a few. Dual citizenship, now we cut the middleman that I'm going to be passing through to seek redress in my country of birth. Dual citizen means my relatives, friends who married to a non-Liberian male, and their children My relative now can pass her citizenship to her children. Dual citizenship means that indeed my citizenship that was recognized in my passport when I took up another citizenship, and all of us here in the diaspora, wherever your locale, you will notice in your passport that your nationality, your country of origin is specified, clear. You have a code on you. You know, that code can by the finger of tapping that code into a computer, into the system of the other citizenship you took, your name going to pop or you are labeled. And indeed, recovering from that to get this dual citizenship, it means that it's not only written in my passport, but I now recognized in the country for which I was born. Dual citizenship means that when Elizabeth Davis Russell was denied confirmation to be head president of the Tubman University, when she was asked as to whether she has another citizenship, and she said, I have American citizenship, and her confirmation hearing at that time was stopped because of that other citizenship. That intensified my advocacy that indeed the fight for our rights, it doesn't only rest with Mr. Doherty and the rest of the guys who are on the ALCOD team, but rather it should include all Liberians. Yes, some Liberians are frustrated about the restriction, but I can recall during my American history reading in school here in America, I know that there are more than 25 amendments that were made. The question here is, how are those amendments? Are we doing the same with our laws in our country? So now I will be having the chance to sit on the table to look at other laws in our country, which is Liberia, our country of origin, sit with my brethren, and then we will discuss the way forward to reflect the current reality on the ground in Liberia so that we can have those laws revisited, reviewed, and then bring forth to reflect our current reality. Those are some of the issues. Those are some of the things I'm happy that the dual citizenship is really, really, really a good thing for us. And that's why it means a great thing for me.
Thank you so much. Mr. Kamara, someone who is not really familiar with this whole dual citizenship thing, maybe your experience can help. What you couldn't do before when there was no dual citizenship that you can do now? Say, here, before I was this, and now this is what I can do, so that people can actually see the why this is very important to you.
Well, Brother Dennis, thank you for that question. You know, when I joined this effort, my biggest focus was basically the economic aspect of this process, apart from the other benefits that comes along with being a dual citizenship. Just to give you a short meaning of what it means before I can get inside. As a dual citizenship, it simply means that one can possess now or can hold more than just one passport. That's one of the biggest benefits going into this process. We talked about when folks left the country, they lost contact with their families. And they have lost their country when they raise their right hand to pick up another citizenship. just to find a way to adjust and support themselves right here in the diaspora. So with this process now in place, it will allow the country of Liberia to regain what we used to call brain drain. Now we have to reverse that again. Let the brain return back to Liberia. They always say a nation's most valuable resource is not the diamond, the gold, the bauxite, the rubber, whatever it is. No. But the most valuable resource for a nation is the people. When the people are well taken care of, they are educated, they are skillful, they can contribute unbelievably to that nation, for example. Not the natural resources. So for Liberia, as Sister Comfort just mentioned, Liberia stand to gain as Liberians feel reconnected back to their homeland and be accepted back into their homeland and allowed to own property again in their homeland. And all that is an investment Liberia need. In business, we talk about two kinds of investment that float out there. We call that foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment. Liberia stand to gain in both of those. Now, foreign portfolio investment simply means that it's a capital investment with foreign money, but it's been operated by residents. So many of us here have sent money over to Liberia to do business. And we ask our folks over there to manage our business. That is the foreign portfolio investment. As compared to the direct investment, it's an investment that is owned and operated by foreigners. So this process is good for Liberia.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me go to Dr. Tobert. Now, we call this what you have organized and you are chairing is called the Dual Citizenship Victory Celebration. My question to you is, why are you celebrating? Why does this demand or require or call for celebration?
Thank you, Dennis, for that question. I think every time you reach a milestone, you need to celebrate. I think that's something that we don't do very often. But when you think about, now listening to Madame Atoka, when she mentioned that she had, lost everything and then realized she had lost the one thing she thought she had, which was citizenship. And that resonated with me because I remember when my mother passed, the first thing I thought about was all her grandchildren that she has in this country. And I remember writing all my siblings after the burial and everything were being organized. And I remember writing my siblings and say, we need to put our mother's property all together and make sure everything is in place because of her grandchildren. And when you start to think about that, and then it dawned on me, oh, okay, I'm a U.S. citizen now. I probably don't even own anything. And that was very, very hard to understand when someone came from Liberia, a whole group of lawyers and other members on a committee. They were promoting former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's Vision 2030. And there was a huge meeting here in Philadelphia where one of the lawyers said to us, I remember I went close to her, we were talking about something, and she made the statement. She said, you're sitting down here in a typical Liberian tone. You're sitting down here and your siblings are all your land and property and you don't own anything in Liberia. And I remember I looked at her and thought, how dare you? And I remember people being on that line when they were asking questions, and that was one of the main things that was a very difficult thing to understand, that everything they had in Liberia now was not supposed to be theirs. And I remember I looked her right in the face and I said to her, I said, let me explain something to you. When I come to Liberia, everything that belonged to my mother belongs to me. And I'm going to see who's going to stop me. It is a time for celebration, because like our sister Atoka said, we thought we had lost everything, and we had lost that essence of who we are, which is Liberians. I remember when I put my hand up and I swore to be, to defend and everything in this country, but it hurt me every time when I went to Liberia or talked with Liberians and had the feeling that Liberians over there just could not stand us. And I always ask the question, why don't you like us over there? And I got to understand their point from where they were coming from when they would make the statement and said somehow they had the feeling they were left behind, although it was not intentional. And we thank God for some of us that were able to get out of the situation. And, we remember, all of those people that we have lost, but we didn't leave on our own. We were forced out of our country. But we never forgot Liberia when we were forced out of Liberia, though. And we even went that extra mile that some of us decided I will be able to do even more for Liberia if I got the U.S. citizenship. So let me do that. And we didn't realize we're putting that rift between us and our our siblings and our relatives in Liberia and our friends. So it always bothered me when I said, we did all this to be able to help you even more, and now you hate us for doing it, and we're stuck now in the middle. So, Eminaweti, I respect you. He took this thing on and made it his personal agenda. And and all the other partners came on, and I'm especially happy that Advocacy for Change came on, and we had some other females on the committee, and it's been great since they came on. So this is something that you have to celebrate when you realize, oh my God, I had lost everything, but now I found it and I got it back. But we never really lost anything. We've always been Liberians. So I think there's a reason to celebrate, because I'm hoping this will probably heal some of the wounds that we got from everything that's happened. This will probably help the relationships that we have in Liberia, where people just cannot stand us, and they probably realize we're all one. We're Liberians, and we did what we did when we got this U.S. citizenship. Not really only because of us. We did it because we love Liberia so much, and we thought at the time, by doing this, it helped us be grounded in this country. Our feet are firm, in a foundation in this country, and we can do much more for Liberia. We didn't realize we're putting ourselves in a mess. But we thank God today we're not in a mess, and we salute the legislature for going that extra mile, and we thank President Weah for signing that bill. And hopefully now we can start to build up Liberia and be one. There's still a lot of things that are missing, and a lot of rift, between Liberians. Hopefully this will be one of those things that will help us come back together to be one. So there's a lot of reason to celebrate. It's almost like the prodigal son. I was lost, and now the son have been lost, and now his father welcomed him home. He have been found. So we're hoping our brothers and sisters will welcome us back and not as guests, but as Liberian brothers and sisters. So that's why we celebrate.
Thank you. Let me bring in Eminent Wetty. Mr. Wetty, let's talk more about the importance of this celebration. I know you people in your group, ALCOD and others, have been working very hard for this day, and this time set aside to celebrate. You were in Liberia as well. How far is this celebration? Is it only with us here in the US? Are people in Liberia celebrating too? In Europe, in Australia, and other parts of the diaspora?
Yeah, Dennis.
How? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Dennis, you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Celebration is
Your screen is dark. What's going on?
yes. I come in 1 second.
Okay, go ahead.
1 second. 1 second.
Dennis, you are muted.
All right. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm between two things, but I have to make a time. Yeah, Dennis, it's not only I was in Liberia 2 months ago, and we met the leadership of the house to celebrate with them and tell them thank you. Due to schedule, we couldn't meet the Senate, but we're hoping to go back to meet with them. So we are already started the celebration in Liberia, telling people thank you, honoring them, and appreciating them. This one is just the diaspora own in the States. Other people will be doing their own as well because we want to appreciate everybody that made this thing to happen. That's the significance of the whole celebration.
Whether you are muted.
No, Dennis is muted.
No,
Let's talk about
you
the
guys not hear
celebration.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good, Mr. Wetty. Mr. Atoka, let's talk about the celebration.
Yes.
Let's start with you on what has been planned, where one to all of us now, let's talk about the celebration that is being scheduled. And so from each of you. So let me start with you.
Okay. The whole advocacy, the whole process is every Liberian's business. As much as certain Liberians were on the fringes, but every Liberian should celebrate this milestone. And it is worthwhile celebrating. It was not an easy journey. However, we must recognize those people who persevered, who kept going, who kept their eye on the prize. And most time, it's just right to recognize people for the hard work that they do. And we want this is not the only issue that Liberia will face or the only national issue. But you have to show people, you have to, as they say, give flowers to people while they're alive. So we feel that it's very important to get together in a city like city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. Get together, Liberians in the diaspora or Liberians at home. Actually, I believe it will be live stream, even though we are encouraging them to purchase tickets and come, but it will also be live stream because we want everybody involved. We don't want to leave anyone out. And those people who kept their eye on the prize and kept this momentum going, it's worthwhile to note their work. And Dr. Vera Tauber will go into a little more detail on the program itself, but we are encouraging Liberians, and Liberians, when we get together, we can have fun. So we are encouraging every Liberian who can make it to please show up in Philadelphia, and let's have fun and let's enjoy this milestone together.
Thank you. Dr. Trevor, let's talk about this program. When, where, what time, who's coming?
Okay, yeah. The program again, like we said, is going to be in Philadelphia here, on the outskirts of Philadelphia in a little borough called Glenolden. It's not far from Philadelphia itself. The program is going to be on March 25th, Saturday, March 25th, in a few days. We have the celebration at a ballroom, and it's going to be 6 p.m. on a Saturday evening. Well, we have a lot of dignitaries, of course, coming from Liberia, and one of our main honorary, Archibald, Councillor Archibald Bernard, and we have invited quite a few from the legislature. We're hoping they can make it. We do realize, I think there is a huge delegation in here right now, so we're hoping they'll probably make it to the event. The local chapter here, the Liberian Association of Pennsylvania, is hosting, this program, and will be hosting all the guests that are coming to town. Friday evening, we will be having a meet and greet, because we realize that people coming from out of town, they don't want to just come on Saturday, so they'll get there Friday evening, and we will have a meet and greet at a Liberian-owned restaurant. So we're going to try to promote that restaurant, and it's called Tasty House. Excuse me, a Tasty House, and we'll meet there, Friday evening, and just hang out and talk. Now Saturday there will be a meeting. The fact that we're going to have Councilor Bernard in town, a lot of people have been asking questions and want to understand what this is all about. They're still not quite sure what the whole dual citizenship is all about. So we'll use that time from 11 to 2 o'clock to have a meeting, and people can ask the questions to try to understand what the dual citizenship really means for them. And then Saturday evening, that's going to be the time of celebration and like we said, to recognize all of those people that have used their resources, their time, and their efforts just to make sure this happened. We're going to give them something small, or just make sure we recognize their efforts. We have we've invited a lot of people from the locally county organizations, Liberians and non-Liberians that are living in this area. We have people from the Mayor's Commission for African and Caribbean Immigrant Affairs coming. We even have representatives from the State Department coming to join us and make remarks. They will be joining us at this program. We have all the ULA the chapters and coming from all over the U.S. We have representatives. A lot of them told me they will be here. So we have the New Jersey people, the Maryland people coming, New York people coming. We also have some other organizations here in this area that support us, Liberians. All of the organizations here in Philadelphia, we try our best to collaborate with the Caribbeans and the other African organizations. So those organizations also are going to be coming to celebrate with us. And of course, we have the partners, and ALCOD, all of the partners that are coming. That I took her from New York, and we have Kamara also coming. So all of these people are going to be there from all over the country to come and celebrate. And at the same time, we want to be able to say thank you. When someone has done so much, the least you can do is say thank you for their efforts. Because, and like we said before, there may be a lot of Liberians or a few Liberians that may not be very happy with the bill. But think about it though. Without the bill, then you would have lost, like I said, you would have lost everything, that made you even a Liberian. And to lose that or not have that, I think that's horrible. So that's the kind of crowd we have coming Saturday night to celebrate with us here in Philadelphia in Glenolden at the Oaks Ballroom, and we hope to have a ball at the ballroom. in Philadelphia.
Thank you. Mr. Doe, I'm sure you're going to be going. As you go, what are you going to tell others to join you, Mr. Doe?
As I already started trying to promote the event, I will not stop because that's my area. I want to make sure that the event reaches the most areas in the diaspora. I'm not only speaking of the U.S., I'm speaking of the guys in Europe, making sure that our flyers are there, and some of the guys are have already promised to attend the event. And I wanted to make sure that this particular event, as I usually do, to get the necessary attention so that we can celebrate and the good things. You know, as we celebrate, we'll be mingling. You know, the good thing about this celebration is that we will see people who are for and against. You know, Liberian, we go to these events, then we get our little side talk. We lead the major things that happen in the hall, and we get on the side, we begin to argue, debate, and have conversation about this particular event. So some of our folks who are for will be mingling with those who are against to communicate with them, discuss with them the importance of this particular event. So those are some of the things we will be involving in and educating our people who think that the law is not right. It is not the rightful time for it. They will have some time where they will scratch the law and all of the restrictions. And I usually tell them that if you do, after we are doing, will still benefit. If you do, after we are doing, and family will still benefit. The women children who could not pass over their children, their citizenship to her children, they will still benefit. But we have to start somewhere. There are many things that we need to do when it comes to dual citizenship. Have the national legislature to make sure that we revisit some of these laws. And, partner with the Liberian Bar Association to revisit some of these laws that are on the books, because so that we can help craft and look at them so that it can reflect the current day reality. Liberia is changing, and Liberians are in the diaspora know that Liberia is changing. So we want to change, and want to change for the best, so that any law that is passed or crafted in Liberia, let it reflect the diaspora as well. So, Dennis, the promotion continues, and we will not stop until Vera tells or Dr. Turbo tells or the owner of the ballroom is signaling that our time is over. So we'll be there. In fact, probably we may even ask for more time for her to stay. When it calls for her to stay there at 5 a.m., we will stay at 5 a.m. You know, because we are happy and we want to celebrate. And we want to celebrate and at the same time educating those of our friends who are think that the restriction is not okay for all. But this celebration is worth it. I know that very well that Wetty will be celebrating like crazy, of course, yes. So I must tell you, Mr. Jah, Mr. Doe will use his pen and we will reach places that we have not reached before so that we can encourage diaspora Liberians to attend this particular event and let us celebrate and celebrate to the fullest.
Thank you. Mr. Kamara, what are you looking forward to in this celebration? I know you wanted to say something, but on top of what you were going to say, what really are the things you are looking forward to going to Philly?
Well, thank you, Mr. Jah. You've heard a lot of things from my counterparts here, my colleagues. You know, we all are social scientists. So therefore, one of the 10 principles we learn in the classroom called economics is that people respond to incentives. So this celebration is a way to give our people, to give back to them, to let them understand that we appreciate them. Because there's much more to come. There's much more to come. So right now, what we are trying to do is to set the stage to encourage others to follow suit as to what is to come. So by appreciating those people who had been behind this process, thick and thin, with their money, with their prayers, this tells who we are as leaders. So the idea behind this celebration is all about encouraging others to join the conversation. Because as things are right now, I think Liberia needs a national conversation to rebuild this nation, like many countries in Africa and other parts of the world have done. So we are hoping that this weekend's celebration will send a signal to fellow Liberians within the diaspora and at home to join us in the conversation. So I look forward to, like Mr. Weir said, to have fun, to rub shoulders, networking, and be around the corner to kind of, talk with our friends who may be a little iffy about this process. We are there to positively tell them why this is important to us and to the nation. So I look forward to having fun, networking, and come back home and tell my people right here in the Southwest, hey folks, we had a great time, and here is what I bring to you as a report from the celebration. So right now, as I speak, I tell my people, if you can send me $50, $100, just do it, because it's worth it. And a few people are responding, so I look forward to all of that.
Thank
so
you.
Yes, thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Dr. Toro, before I go to Eminem Wetty, I just want to know about if there'll be fees and mention who we should contact in case we want to get tickets. Let's talk about that briefly.
Okay, yes. Yeah, there will be just one fee to enter, and that fee will give you everything. You'll have access to everything in the hall, including drinks, food and all of that. And the fee is just $100. And if you need, the tickets are going to be sold at the door. But right now, we're encouraging people really to go on Eventbrite. On the fly, you can just click right on there, and it will take you to Eventbrite to be able to pay for your ticket. It makes it much easier when we get to the hall, not to have a long line of people trying to buy tickets at the door. But there will be tickets at the door also, and we will have several ways available also at the door. Cash App, Zelle, to make it easy for people to be able to buy at the door. Also checks, and cash will be accepted. So it's just a fee of $100 that we need just to help us be able to pay, for the ballroom. It is costing quite a bit to do this event. So, we're just asking people for that donation of $100. And there are several hotels in the area that we have on the flyer where people can stay if they're spending the night on Friday. They can stay at those places. And of course, there are a lot of Liberians here. If you want to call your friends and you can stay with them, that's also fine. If they have any questions, definitely they can call me at 215-680-0722. That's my number, and give any more information. But the event will be in Glenolin, like I said. The address of the event is 511 Oak Lane, and that's Glenolden, PA 19036, and it starts at 6 p.m. And of course, the meet and greet, there's no fee for the meet and greet. We have some refreshments on that evening on Friday. And that's going to be at, again, I told you, a Liberian-owned restaurant. It's called Tasty House Restaurant, and that's 1301 Ashmont Avenue, and that's in Chester, PA 19013. Now, the meeting that we're going to have on Saturday to answer questions, for people to understand dual citizenship, again, that meeting is not going to cost anything. It's also going to be at the same event, Tasty House Restaurant on 1301 Ashmont Avenue in Chester, PA 19013. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wetty, I know this is not the end. I mean, what next after the celebration?
Well, after the like I always say, advocacy is not an event or process. This celebration is just an acknowledgement of the first phase, and telling people thank you. The next thing we have to do is other country voting and constitutional changes, because what happened is the law that we did is just a law. But we hope that the next generation of advocates will start looking at the constitutional changes that will be made. Let me add to what Dr. Torba said. I don't know whether she said it or I missed it. We got confirmation that the State Department will be sending a team at the program. We got that email to confirm that they will be there at the program. And we're hoping that people can come and network with other people. There are a lot of officials that will be there. As you know, the president is in town. I'm getting calls from other government officials that they will be there. So that will be a full house. We really appeal to people, like Dr. Turbo mentioned, to buy your ticket, on time, because the $100, let's say upfront, you got $35 for yourself. The meal is, am I right? The meal is $35 of that $100. So don't just say, oh, they are charging $100. The dinner, we're not asking anybody to cook. The hotel going to serve us, and the plate is $35. So if you go ahead and subtract $35 from the $100, by the time we finish taking all of our expenses, we may not even get anything, but we just want the program to be here. So please come and support this effort, and let every one of us, go ahead and enjoy, and appreciate each other. So the next step is other country voting. Chairman Alfred C. is on that one. In due course, you'll be talking to you. So other country voting is the next thing that we'll be talking about. Now, previous speakers mentioned, if you appreciate those that gave you dual citizenship, then of course others will follow through to make sure other country voting become a reality.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. If you are watching us, just joining us, this is celebrating the victory of the passage of dual citizenship. So there's a program slated for this weekend in Philadelphia that you can be part of to celebrate the passage of this dual citizenship into law. If you are here and want to participate in the discussion tonight or ask questions, the number is on the screen for you to call. 605-313-6004. The code is 791-403#. I know there are some comments, and our guests have been doing very well to answer all your questions. One of which was out-of-state voting, at which the eminent just provided the answer. Few more comments here. Elvis is welcome to all. Elder Joseph Y. Coker is watching us from Hamilton, New Jersey. Should dual citizens who live abroad be required to pay taxes in Liberia since they have rights in Liberia? Elvis, please come on Friday. Dr. Councillor Archibald Bernard will be there to answer these kind of questions. So please come, and you will get all the answers you need. Dr. Stella Jefferson, we need to be able to vote from the USA. Yes, that's also on the menu according to Eminent Wetty. Abby Tyler, who lives on the other side of Philadelphia in Boss County, say, why are all the functions held on the other side of Philadelphia? Show us some love. So, Dr. Toro, I'll let you answer that later on. And Peter is following us from Mama Point Hotel. All right, so Comfort, you have anything to add? I see,
Yes.
I can see something on the tip of your tongue.
Yes, I want to add that this opportunity of dual citizenship, as much as it has not ended yet, it's still going on. You have to crawl before you walk. But we want Liberians to take advantage of this opportunity given to Liberians in the diaspora to have this dual citizenship. We always spoke about the pros of dual citizenship and the cons. Now we have the dual citizenship. And I hope Liberians use this opportunity to give back in whatever way they can do positively to our beloved Liberia. And then as we are living in a world that is now a global village, where, I mean, nothing is so far. Our younger generation that are coming up, they are so, how they call it, restless, that you can work from anywhere. And during I had to go by, but I want to give this example. During the crisis in Liberia, there was so many adoptions of orphans in Liberia. Some of those adoptions were open adoptions. So Liberian children were brought out of Liberia, adopted by non-Liberians. Some of them were adopted by Caucasian. And, you know, those kids have grown up now. And who knows, some of them want to give back. And it would have been disheartening to tell them that, no, you are not a Liberian. And those kids are now in a position that they can give back to our country, our beloved country, because our country needs us. Liberia needs every Liberian to give back positively. And I say positively, give back. So this is why I am so happy that this law has passed, as much as it may not be comprehensive, but you have to crawl before you walk. And let Liberians make use of this opportunity and give back to Liberia.
Thank you. Sam Wallow said the passage of the dual citizenship law is the most significant piece of legislation in Liberia in a century.
Yes.
Wow. We have some callers here. So let me bring on the callers here. The first caller here is Mr. Elvis Morris. Elvis, you are live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. John, and hello to your panelists tonight. And I just also want to appreciate, them for the work that they've done in passing the dual citizenship bill. I have a couple of questions for them. And for example, for those of us who are in the United States, whether you're a citizen or permanent resident, if you're working outside of the United States, your income is subject to taxes to the United States government. So will they be willing for the Liberian government to take taxes from them, or for them to pay taxes, since they're asking for all these different rights within the country, which again is fine, but no taxation, no representation without no taxation without representation. So if you want to be represented as a citizen, to vote and to have all these different rights, you have to pay taxes to the government. So I want to get their thoughts on that.
Right. Let me understand. You said Americans that are living in Europe and other parts of the world that are working there, they pay taxes to the U.S. government?
They pay taxes. Go on the IRS website. Your worldwide income is subject to taxes if you're a permanent resident or an American citizen.
Okay.
So that's something that a lot of people don't know. So if the Liberian government can get taxes from our new citizens, that would be good. It'll even help our country develop. So I want to hear what their thoughts are on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me bring on the next caller. T. Jeffries.
Yes, hello?
Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Hi, I am Dr. Stella Jeffries.
Go ahead, Doc.
Okay, I went to Liberia in December, and I went here with my U.S. passport and my Liberian passport. I got to the airport, and it said to me, no, you need to have a visa. And I said, no. I called the embassy, and I was told that I can bring my Liberian passport to enter the country and use my American passport to come back home. It was a big deal. So the people at the airport needs to know, they must go to some training to know that when we come home, we're not coming home with a visa. I literally have to pay people to get through. So that needs to be changed. If we're a dual citizen, the staff on the entry, the airport staff needs to be trained. From the immigration to all of them needs to be trained about this process. So apparently they don't know the process or they haven't been trained of the process, but we'll be going back and we're not going with our visa anymore.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jeffries.
Thank you.
All right, let me go to you have two callers. You'll respond, any one of you.
Yeah. Can I respond?
Sure.
Very.
All right. The first thing is that the incident you just explained about the passport. I don't want to say anything, but please allow me to say that maybe it was just an isolated incident, because we have people that have traveled for Liberia, use their Liberian passport, got on the plane from here, from the States, went to Liberia, showed the Liberian passport, got out the airport, coming back, they show both the Liberian passport and the American passport. And the immigration, there was no question. They just took the two passports and stamped the American passport. So I witnessed the incident, and I can attest to that. And also that we had a meeting with the immigration boss, Colonel Robert Burr, something like that. And they have told all the immigration staff at the Arao International Airport that this law is one for Liberian, always a Liberian. When people come in, all they need to show is their American passport getting out. We also met the Deputy Minister for Legal Affairs, Councillor Gray, who have been extremely helpful, making sure that people are getting their passport easily without any issue. So we are going to investigate what the lady said. I would appreciate if you can give me a call. My number is 614-483-8192. And I would directly take the incident and report it to the immigration chief and say, look, some of our people, yes, some of them are having good time. They're not experiencing any issue. But this is an incident where somebody went and asked them a question. So I am prepared to take that. So just take my number down, call me, give me the intel. I will call the the Commission of Immigration directly, and we'll talk about that.
Thank you. Also, any thoughts?
Also, on the issue of the taxes, Liberians should understand and know that dual citizenship is not unique to Liberia. Nigeria got it, Sierra Leone got it, everybody got it around the world. If you are working outside the country, we are not tax experts, and we're not going to comment on that. I think you need to check with your tax people in America. Anything with taxes, you are told to check with your tax representative. We're not going to tell you. Our duty here is to make sure you have dual citizenship. How you use it, when you use it, why you use it, it's up to you. We're just going to have that option that you are a Liberian and you have right to the country.
In addition to what the MNS said, I think this there is now the responsibility of the agency, the requisite agency in Liberia to begin to work with the national legislature so that they can craft the necessary laws that will reflect, as I said earlier, the current reality on the grounds. Our concern is to get dual citizenship. We fought since 2012. Conversation started in 2005. We've been fighting since 2012, and now dual citizenship is here. We can partner with the regulatory agencies in Liberia, get our tax people here, and we can work together in making sure that we dot the I's and cross the T's so that Liberians and Liberia can benefit. At the same time, those of us that are in the diaspora, we can benefit as well. But for now, we definitely do a research on that, and we will ask questions. It's good to ask questions then to conclude, as the eminent said. So we will leave it with the tax people in Liberia, and we will leave it with those that are here in the diaspora who want to do business in Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you. And in addition, Councillor Archibald Bernard will be at the program on Friday to answer all these legal questions.
And we are paying tax anyway, so it's just that we are not concentrating on how many taxes we pay, but we are, as we speak, we're paying tax now. Liberians in the diaspora are paying tax to their country.
Right.
I mean, since you have two passports, you belong to two countries, so therefore, if you go and work in Liberia, you are expected to pay your taxes over there as well. If you're over here, you work in, you pay tax as well. So you give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar wherever you are. That's what he thinks for.
His question was, you work
if you're working in DC and at the same time working in Philadelphia, you pay two taxes. That's why it's clear. You pay two taxes.
Right. So no doubt.
And talking about traveling, or I think what Sam Waller is saying here makes sense. Make sure you understand the travel requirement of both countries before traveling on both passports. Sometimes
that's right.
The laws of both countries may conflict on the use of passports. Some countries require their citizens to travel on the passport they issue. So, and these are all, the legal ones that the panelists here are here to celebrate. But so please come to the celebration, and you say it's going to be streamed live. So those questions will be posted so that they can answer. Also, Reverend Dr. Ishmael Walter is asking, does the National Election Commission of Liberia have the facility to conduct a credible election out of Liberia? Because I interview a lot of lawyers, I can answer this one partially. The answer is as asking, does the government of Liberia, have the facility to conduct election in Liberia, right? Because it's legal, it's a requirement, it's by the Constitution, so nobody cares whether you get the money or not, find it. Because the Constitution says you should.
And Dennis, if I can weigh in a little bit about that, the then chairman of the Elections Commission, Kokoya, and Yula, they had some very serious discussion when Yula we took part in the elections, 2017 elections, for the first time in its history, and as observer, the chairman told Yula to begin the process of crafting how out-of-country voting should be. It was during those discussions that we were having, elections were held, and now the chairman is not there. But thank God that indeed we are revisiting the out-of-country voting, and it is doable. Liberians in the diaspora can facilitate and sponsor out-of-country voting when they are given the opportunity. It is just something that the NEC, the National Legislature, and Liberians in the diaspora can begin the process of talking so that out-of-country voting can be held.
Thank you. We have 14 minutes to close. I will use this time to get your closing comments. And I think we can always stress, let me repeat, that the dual citizenship victory celebration is scheduled for March 25, 2023 in Philadelphia at the Oaks Ballroom. That's 511 West Oak Lane, Glendale, PA 19036. The program starts at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Admission is only $100, and according to the organizers, $35. This is where your food will come from, so you don't have to go with your roasted cassava and coconut in your pocket. You're going to have food there. Tickets are available at the door. You can go with a check, cash out, Zelle, and also you can purchase your tickets now from Eventbrite. For details, contact Dr. Vera Turbert at 215-680-0722 or Emmanuel Sonibor Weti at 614-483-8192. Again, is the Dual Citizenship Victory Celebration in Philadelphia. Let's go around the room. Let me get your closing comments, starting with Comrade Doe. Mr. Doe.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Jai. Again, I am so happy. I'm happy that we had this particular conversation to educate, inform our brethren in the diaspora, not only the U.S., but the diaspora's hope about the event that is to be held on March 5th, this Saturday, March 25th. We are praying that you guys are going to see reason to attend, and let's come and mingle. You know, I can recall in 2020, I facilitated the diaspora engagement policy. You see, these things were hand in hand when you are fighting for diaspora dual citizenship, and you want to fight for another document that the policy, when the dual citizenship kicks in, and you have this policy document ready for use when the dual citizenship is being achieved. Now we have the dual citizenship. In 2020, we facilitated a discussion, and the final draft, the draft document that we talked about, we discussed about, that final paper is on the president's desk as I learned. And it's on the president's desk, and they are looking at it, and they are doing all of the necessary things that they're supposed to do, and probably as soon it is going to be into law again. These are things that diaspora Liberians have been working on, and we are not just sitting. And when Eminem Weti begin to this boy here, this guy, I don't know how to describe this, but I'm happy for a person who has the diaspora heart, pushing for dual citizenship. Weti, nobody should get you Weti way when it came to the dual citizenship. Weti pushed for it. Today, we'll be celebrating the victory of dual citizenship. So I want to appeal to all Liberians in the diaspora to please come to Philadelphia on March 25th. Let us talk. Let us discuss. Let us mingle. Let us see how best, if we have any differences in the law, we can still preach for more. You know, the United States, as I said earlier, they have carried on almost over 25 amendments of the Constitution and other statutory laws on the books. We can do the same. We are smart people who shouldn't just sit and things pass by us. Now we are dual citizens. We can now go to Liberia and help the process and put our laws in place. Thank you so much again, Mr. Jai, for responding to us. And thank you, fellows who are on here, for coming and to promote this particular event.
Thank you, Mr. Doe. Let me go to Mrs. Toga.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to add that the questions that were posed tonight, they are very, very good questions. every legislation that is passed, it takes time to work out the modalities. So, and Liberia is not different. The dual citizenship is not different. The issue about passport, the issue about taxes, those are very important issues. And those issues will be addressed. There will be clarity provided as we move on. I remember traveling to a country that has dual citizenship. And when I arrived, I show my American passport. The immigration question officer first question was, "Sister, where is your Nigerian passport?" He assumed I was a Nigerian. So I just smiled. I said, "No, I'm not a Nigerian." That means when you arrive Liberia with your two passports, they'll be expecting you to use your Liberian passport. So again, all of the details will be worked out as we move on. And I want to say thanks to everyone who has been part of this advocacy. There are people in the background. You know, we talk about a ship moving. There are people who are the engine. That ship has engine. There are people under there who are making that ship to move. And we recognize all of those people, their time and talent, whether it was just encouragement, whether it was just some moral support, all of that is appreciated. And we want to meet to pat each other on the back for what we have all achieved. This is for all Liberians and not just one group of people. No one has monopoly over this advocacy. It is for every Liberian, every Liberian. So let us get together, Liberians, and pat each other on the back. Philadelphia this weekend will be wonderful. And people in Philadelphia know how to throw parties. So we are looking forward to seeing you guys in Philadelphia. I'm traveling to Georgia tomorrow, but because of this Saturday, I'm flying out of Georgia back into Philadelphia. So just not to miss it. So everybody out there, please come. Bring your buck, $100. You can buy a ticket at the door, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kamara, your closing, sir.
Well, thank you, everybody. It has been very rewarding tonight to listen to all of us. At this point, all I have to tell our listeners tonight is that we don't have all the answers for them. But rest assured, by the time the weekend is over, we will have some answers, good ones. Because why? We have credible speakers that will provide us some of the answers to your concerns. At this point, let's focus on coming together, networking, enjoy ourselves, and thank all the planning committee for their hard work. May the God bless them and strengthen their effort going forward. So thank you for tonight, and thank our listeners in this program tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Welty, your closing, sir. All right, let's go to Dr. Trevor. You got the last word.
Thank you, Mr. Ja. I want to thank all our listeners, for their time this evening, and especially I want to thank them for those questions that were asked, because I think they're very, very important and they're very much on point. But if you look at the questions that were asked, let me just say very quickly, you will see already the benefits that we in the diaspora and Liberians, in Liberia are going to have from, having this dual citizenship. When the question that was asked about taxes, of course, things have just passed, so all the laws are going to be put in place and explained, and people will be able to understand it. So like Madam Atoka said, it takes time for things to get in place. But look at the benefits at least. If we Liberians, we're already sending millions of dollars in remittance to Liberia, every year. And if we have dual citizenship and paying taxes, that's a great benefit again for Liberia, And then looking at the passport situation, I apologize to the lady who had that problem, because I know my cousin just traveled home on 2 passports. She had absolutely no problem, So it is working. So things are going to be put in place. But at least we can look at that as when we had to run to DC to try to get visa, we don't have to do that anymore. So we're already starting to see the benefits of having dual citizenship with what's happening or what have been asked here. So I think we Liberians all need to embrace this, and that's why we're coming together on Saturday, March 5th, to celebrate, March 25th. I'm sorry, to celebrate, this milestone and to say this is a great thing that has happened for us here and for Liberians at home, because we will all benefit from this, and we will all enjoy the benefits, and our children and children's children will all enjoy all the benefits of dual citizenship. So let's celebrate and let's be very grateful. And let's say thank you to those people that put their time and their efforts to make this happen. And that's what we're going to gather together in Philadelphia on this weekend, and just to not only have fun and enjoy, but to mingle and get our questions answered. And we can also, meet those people in person that took their time and their efforts to make this happen. That would benefit all of Liberians. Whatever we want to admit it or not, we will all benefit from what is going to happen in the future. So thank you so much, Dennis, for having us on your show.
Thank you. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Tough Talking Thursday, we're going to discuss the job of the president of Liberia. What are his or her powers, responsibilities, functions, and requirements? It is very important that every election cycle, as we vote for the president, we should know the president's job description. This will help citizens to elect the best person for the job. Tomorrow, join us here at Focus on Liberia on Tough Talking Thursday as we discuss the job of the president of Liberia. You don't want to miss it. Well, we have the eminent. Let the eminent your closing comments.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Dennis, for everything, and thanks to the previous speakers. They said it all. We just asking that you please come over and let us celebrate this. And if we made any mistake, those after us can correct the mistake. Dr. Toba told you there will be the rightful people there. You can come and ask the question. Pastor Ajibo Bona will be there. He's the legal ear to the president. So he will give you almost everything that you want to hear. So thank you all. May God bless you all. And the team, thank you, Dr. Toba and the team, for a good job. Dennis, thank you for everything. After we are done, our sister Atoka, Willie Kamara, Shehu Kamara, the people from Europe, the people from Ghana, from Australia. Thank you all the government officials, all the senators representing everybody, and all the Liberian people, all the supporters and champions of the world. Even those that don't support us, we want to welcome you to the celebration. Thank you all. May God bless everybody, and we'll all meet this weekend in Philly.
Thank you. On that note, we say whether you are a dual citizen or not, whether you support it or not, whether you are from any ethnic group, social group, political party, we are all Liberians, and that's the song we're going to close with tonight. Have a good night, and God bless you.
We are Liberians.